As winter edges closer, the whispers of shortage are already in the air. And trust me, this season won't just be about colder nights and frosty mornings. It's about what might suddenly disappear from store shelves before you even realize it's happening. In today's video, I'm revealing 12 items that are running out faster than most people expect this winter. These aren't just random products, they're everyday essentials and even surprising luxuries that could play a bigger role in your life than you think. By the time this video ends, you'll know exactly what's becoming scarce, why it matters, and most importantly, how to prepare before prices skyrocket or shelves go bare. So grab something warm to sip on, stay with me until the end, and let's begin with one of the most shocking shortages of them all. Number 1. Kitchen gold running dry. That bottle of olive oil sitting in your cupboard, it's no longer just a cooking ingredient, it's becoming liquid gold. Most shoppers are completely unaware that they're holding one of the most endangered products in their kitchen. Across the Mediterranean, record-breaking droughts have scorched olive groves, creating the worst harvest crisis in decades. Spain, which usually produces nearly half the world's olive oil, has been devastated. Farmers are walking through groves of withered trees, and harvest yields have fallen to catastrophic lows, and the numbers are brutal. Prices of olive oil have already doubled in many countries, and experts warn this is just the beginning. Some supermarkets have started limiting how many bottles you can buy, while smaller stores are running out completely. Italy and Greece, two more major producers, are reporting the same disaster, creating a perfect storm of shortages that's rippling through global supply chains. Meanwhile, countries like China and India are snapping up more olive oil than ever before, pushing demand through the roof. What makes this shortage even more devastating is that olive oil isn't easily replaced. It's not some exotic ingredient you can swap out. It's the foundation of countless recipes, salad dressings, marinades, and even food preservation methods. Other oils simply can't match its unique flavor or health benefits. And here's the kicker, this isn't a temporary problem. Olive trees take years to recover from drought stress, meaning supply won't bounce back quickly. Experts are warning that prices could triple before the situation stabilizes, and we may be dealing with shortages for several growing seasons in a row. The smart move right now? Stock up while you can. Olive oil, if stored in a cool, dark place, can last 2 to 3 years without losing quality, making it one of the best food security items you could possibly add to your pantry today. Waiting could mean paying triple the price for lower quality bottles, or worse, not being able to find any at all. Number 2. Sweet survival currency. Chocolate. For many it's comfort food. For some it's a guilty pleasure. But this winter, it may become something far more serious, a survival currency. The warning signs are flashing red in global markets, and it all comes down to one brutal truth: the world is running out of cocoa. Around 70% of the world's cocoa comes from West Africa, and both Ghana and Ivory Coast, the biggest producers, are in deep trouble. Poor harvests, disease and extreme weather have led to catastrophic crop failures. This isn't just a minor bump in supply. It's a crisis shaking the chocolate industry to its core. Cocoa prices have surged to record-breaking highs, and chocolate companies are being forced to raise their prices dramatically. In some European countries, shelves are already showing empty spaces where chocolate used to be. But it doesn't stop there. Shipping disruptions and international conflicts are making transport even harder, while market speculation keeps driving costs higher. It's a vicious cycle of scarcity feeding on itself. And here's why this matters. Chocolate isn't just candy. It's calorie-dense, packed with fast energy, and dark chocolate in particular carries antioxidants, magnesium, and iron. Nutrients that actually matter when food security becomes an issue. In other words, what people once thought of as a treat might soon be something families rely on when other foods become harder to find. So while most people will brush this off as a luxury problem, the truth is chocolate is about to become one of the most valuable, sought-after items on the shelf, and those who prepare now won't be the ones paying 5 times the price later. But here's something most people overlook about chocolate: its value goes far beyond taste. When food is scarce and stress is high, chocolate becomes a lifeline. It's calorie-dense, nutrient-packed, and more importantly, it works on your brain. Eating chocolate triggers the release of serotonin and endorphins, those feel-good chemicals that lift your mood and stabilize your emotions. During long winters, power outages, or stressful times when cabin fever sets in, that tiny piece of chocolate can feel like pure gold. History proves this. Soldiers in both world wars carried chocolate in their rations, not just for energy, but because commanders knew its power to keep morale alive under extreme conditions. From a prepper's perspective, chocolate is also one of the smartest comfort foods to stockpile. Dark chocolate, when stored in a cool, dry place, can last 2 years or more without losing quality. Milk chocolate doesn't last quite as long, but it still keeps for many months, even without refrigeration. Unlike canned goods or freeze-dried meals, you don't need to cook it, heat it, or prepare it in any way. Tear open the wrapper, and you've got instant energy and instant comfort. And let's not ignore the money side of this. As cocoa prices skyrocket, chocolate isn't just food anymore, it's becoming a commodity. Think about it, those chocolate bars in your pantry are gaining value every single day just by sitting there. When shelves go empty and prices hit record highs, your stash could mean the difference between paying 5 times the price or already having what you need at pre-crisis costs. The smart move here is simple: stock up now. Focus on dark chocolate for maximum shelf life and nutrients, but don't overlook milk chocolate if that's what keeps your spirits high. Because when winter truly sets in and chocolate becomes a rare luxury instead of a casual snack, you'll be one of the few who has secured both sustenance and sanity. Number 3, the morning fuel crisis. Now let's talk about something even more underestimated: coffee. Specifically, instant coffee. For millions of people, coffee isn't just a drink, it's fuel for the mind, the thing that keeps mornings functional, and without it, life feels unbearable. But here's the chilling truth: the global coffee supply chain is cracking. Brazil and Colombia, which produce more than half of the world's coffee, are struggling with brutal weather patterns, crop diseases, and labor shortages. Yields are dropping fast, just as global demand is climbing higher than ever. Add in international shipping delays, and what you get is a recipe for empty shelves and prices that shoot through the roof. The scary part? Coffee isn't just about habit. For most adults, caffeine withdrawal is real, and it's rough. Headaches, brain fog, irritability, crushing fatigue. These symptoms can last weeks. Now imagine going through that in the middle of a power outage or an emergency situation, when mental clarity could be the difference between making good choices or dangerous ones. And yet, most households have maybe a week's worth of coffee in the pantry at any given time. This is where instant coffee becomes a survival essential. Unlike coffee beans or grounds that spoil quickly and require equipment, instant coffee is nearly indestructible. Properly stored, it can last decades. You don't need grinders, filters, or electric coffee makers, just hot water, and even if that's not available, it can dissolve in cold water in a pinch. That little jar of powder could be the difference between staying sharp in a crisis or falling apart under stress. Its advantages don't end there. Instant coffee takes up far less space than beans, stretches into hundreds of cups per container, and gives you total control over portion sizes. And while it delivers that caffeine boost your body craves, it also provides antioxidants and helps with metabolism, which can actually support your body when nutrition is limited. From a financial standpoint, it's also the best bang for your buck. As coffee prices climb across the board, instant coffee remains the most cost-effective way to secure your caffeine supply. One container can deliver hundreds of servings at a fraction of the cost of buying beans or grounds. So while most people walk past it in the grocery aisle, smart preppers know instant coffee isn't just a convenience, it's survival fuel, storage-friendly, and an emotional anchor that keeps mornings and minds running smoothly, even when the world outside feels chaotic. When your morning coffee becomes luxury instead of a daily habit, that jar of instant coffee will feel priceless. And here's the brutal truth: supply disruptions are already happening behind the scenes. Processing plants are stretched to their limits, demand is climbing every single month, and transportation costs keep rising. Meanwhile, coffee-producing regions are facing long-term challenges that won't disappear anytime soon. Right now, coffee prices haven't hit consumers with their full force yet, but it's only a matter of time. That's why smart preppers are quietly building up their instant coffee reserves now, before it transforms from a simple daily necessity into an expensive luxury most people can no longer afford. Number 4. Protein in a can that's vanishing fast. If you've been walking down the grocery aisles lately, you might have already noticed it. Canned beans are disappearing, and shelves can't stay stocked. For years, beans were the quiet workhorse of nutrition. Affordable, filling, loaded with protein and fiber, but now families everywhere have caught on. Suddenly, the humble can of beans has become one of the hottest items in food security. Factories are running at full tilt, but they simply can't keep up with the surge in demand. Production plants were built for predictable shopping patterns, not for households suddenly buying entire cases at a time. Truck drivers are reporting bean shipments selling out before they even make it to store shelves. This isn't a small spike in demand, It's a shift in how families think about survival and food storage, and the supply chain just wasn't built for it. Why beans? Because nutritionally, they're unbeatable. A single cup of black beans delivers around 15 grams of protein, 15 grams of fiber, and a dose of iron, magnesium, and folate. Combine beans with rice or grains, and you've got a complete protein, the same muscle-sustaining nutrition that people usually rely on meat for. Except unlike meat, beans don't spoil in a few days or require refrigeration. They hold their value for years, sitting quietly in your pantry until you need them most. And don't underestimate the calories. Black beans pack about 240 per cup, kidney beans about 220, and chickpeas around 270. Add in the slow-digesting carbs, and you get steady energy without the crashes that processed foods cause. In survival situations, when every calorie counts, beans don't just keep you alive, they keep you functional. Their versatility makes them even more valuable. Toss them in soups and stews to stretch other ingredients. Mash them into spreads or dips. Mix them with rice for a complete filling meal, or if you've got nothing else, you can even eat them straight out of the can. They're satisfying, they're adaptable, and they turn basic seasonings into meals that actually feel like meals. Storage couldn't be simpler. Canned beans last 3 to 5 years in normal room conditions, holding on to both their taste and nutrition. Unlike dried beans, you don't need to soak them or cook them for hours, which becomes critical during power outages or fuel shortages. Here's the economic kicker: bean prices are already climbing fast, and experts warn they'll keep rising as producers struggle to catch up. That's why the smartest shoppers are buying beans by the case right now. Because in a world where protein is becoming expensive and scarce, those humble cans of beans could turn out to be one of the best food investments you ever make. Number 5. The breakfast grain nobody's talking about. You probably have it in your pantry right now, tucked away behind cereal boxes and flashier grains: oats. Simple, cheap, and often overlooked. But here's the truth: oats are about to become one of the most valuable staples in your kitchen. For years, everyone has obsessed over superfoods, like quinoa or chia seeds. But nutrition experts have always known that oats quietly deliver more value per dollar than almost any breakfast food. And now, the rest of the world is catching on. Global demand for oats is exploding just as extreme weather and unpredictable harvests are hammering supply. Across North America and Europe, oat farms are struggling. Some regions are bone dry from drought, others are drowning in floods, and temperature swings have completely thrown off the growing seasons. Yields are down, farmers are worried, and supply chains are straining to keep up with rising demand. And this is just the beginning of why oats, that plain bag sitting in your kitchen, might soon feel like gold. Canada, one of the world's largest oat producers, responsible for nearly 20% of global supply, is reporting some of the worst harvest conditions in decades. And when a major supplier struggles, the whole world feels it. Importing nations are now competing aggressively for whatever oats remain on the market, driving prices higher and creating a true sense of scarcity. The truth is, oats are far more than a humble breakfast food. Their nutritional profile makes them a powerhouse for anyone serious about food security. They're rich in beta-glucan, a soluble fiber that helps regulate blood sugar and cholesterol, while keeping you fuller for longer. A single cup of cooked oats gives you about 150 calories, 5 grams of protein, and a solid dose of minerals like manganese, phosphorus, and magnesium. Compare that to sugary breakfast cereals that leave you hungry an hour later, and the difference is night and day.